Is democracy just a word we throw around in textbooks, or is it something we actually feel? Right now, if we look at the streets of New Delhi, Bihar, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, Mumbai, and countless others, you might get a very, very different answer. Welcome to the Teen Take. I'm your host, Kavya Bhardwaj. We're cutting through the noise and we're talking about the Cockroach Janta Party, or CJP, and the massive youth led movement that just forced a major change at the highest level of our government. If you've been scrolling past the news, stop, because this isn't just news, this is your future being fought for in real time.
Keep me rocking on the same time. When we get high in my breakdown, we're just watching from the same time. But that don't change when I break down. Think we were talking about the same crime.
So, what is the CJP? It's not a political party in the suits and ties sense. It's the Cockroach Janta Party. And it started as a satirical, biting response to a system that felt like it was ignoring the voices of millions of students. But it quickly turned into the center of the storm. We're talking about the NEET paper leak fiasco. Students across India were pushed to the edge, seeing their years of hard work potentially washed away because of administrative failures. The CJP became the megaphone for that frustration. Then enters Sonam Wangchuk. You probably know him as the innovator, the activist from Ladakh. And he took a look at the situation, saw the injustice, and decided that he isn't just going to tweet about this, but rather went to Jantar Mantar himself and started an indefinite hunger strike. It wasn't just a PR stunt, it was a physical, dangerous commitment. He stayed out there day after day until his health crashed and police had to carry him to the hospital. When he went down, the narrative shifted. The government couldn't ignore the optics of a beloved activist literally starving for justice. But here's the messy part: the media. We saw channels like Aaj Tak, Z News, Republic TV, and countless others trying to spin this. They tried to frame this movement as quote unquote too political, calling it a disruption, maybe even hitting a anti-national agenda. We even saw reports of influencers being utilized to silence the dissent, to make you think that the kids protesting were just troublemakers. And let's be honest, when the news spends more time attacking the protesters than the corruption they're protesting, that's not journalism, that's propaganda, my friends. And don't get me started on the police response. We're talking about tear gas against peaceful students. We're talking about reports of 15 and 16-year-olds being beaten up. These are teenagers, guys. These are kids who should be in class, not dodging batons for demanding a fair exam. When you look at that, at the sheer force used against youth, you have to ask, is this the democracy we were promised? Because a democracy that's afraid of its own children isn't really a democracy at all, is it? But there was a win. On the 25th of June, the Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan resigned. Let that sink in. A minister actually stepped down because the people, the youth, refused to be quiet. It was massive and a necessary one, but the fight isn't over. Look at Vishakhapatnam, where people are protesting the displacement of Dalit communities for a Google backed AI data center. Look at the protests in North India against deforestation. This is happening everywhere. We aren't just consumers of technology, we're the ones impacted by how it's built and how our land is taken. At Teen Take, this is exactly the kind of news we look for. It's raw, it's fresh, and honestly, it's motivating. It is incredibly powerful to see 15 and 16-year-olds just like us on TV, and not as guests, but as the leaders of the conversation. You aren't just the future, you are the present. You have the power to force the hand of the powerful. So keep asking the questions, keep pushing back, because if the CJP proved one thing, it's that when you stand together, they have to listen. Thank you so much for tuning in and stay loud. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.